Welcome to my YouTube channel. And today I brought for you uh, an excellent poem written by Charlotte Bronte. Charlotte Bronte, a British poetess, and her poem Life. Let's get into the poem. And here is a small bio of Charlotte Bronte. Charlotte Bronte was born on 21st April 1816, and she was died on 31st March 1855. It is too early. She died in too young age because her pregnancy. She was died. We are going to learn about few things about her personal life. She was an English novelist and poet and the editor of elder of Bronte sisters, Emily Bronte and Anne Bronte. Charlotte, Emily, and Anne Bronte. Her novels become classics of English literature. She has enlisted in school at Rio Head in January in 1831 at the age of 14 years. She left the year after to teach her sisters Emily and Anne at her home itself. On returning in 1835, as she has started an early career in her life because she is the elder of the family. In 1839, she undertook the role as governess for Sidwick family, but left after a few and where her sister opened a school but failed to attract the pupils. Instead, they turned to writing and they each first published in 1846 under the pseudonym, not exactly with their names, and the pseudonyms. With pen names, they started publishing Currer Bell. And the pseudonym Currer Bell. We will be getting in it or set in competitive examinations of English. We are getting a question on whose pen name is called Currer Bell. Currer Bell is the pseudonym of Charlotte Bronte. And then her works. The professor was rejected by the publisher. She is unable to attract the publishers. Her first work, The Professor, is simply rejected by the publishers and written. And her second novel, Jane Eyre, was published in 1847. The sisters announced to their Bell pseudonym in 1848. With their names, they are unable to publish. So that's a reason they took the name, the pseudonym, because there was no good name at all to the women in British society. So they wanted to continue writing with the pseudonym only. So here later followed. They started writing for many of the publishers, and Bronte was the last to die of all her siblings. Her two sisters, Emily and Annie Bronte, were died early to Charlotte, and she is the last person who has died after her siblings. She became pregnant shortly after her marriage in June 1844, but died on 31st March 1855. We know that she is married Karar. So after marriage with him, she became pregnant, and before to give birth to a child, she lasted her life almost certainly from a high premising gravidarum, a complication of pregnancy, a pregnancy complication. She has lasted her breath. Charlotte Bronte and Emily traveled to Brussels to enroll at the boarding school run by Constantin Hugo and his wife Clézo Baron Hugo. And during her time in Brussels, Bronte, who favored the Protestant ideal of an individual in direct contact with God, objected to the stern Catholicism of Madame Heger, and which he considered a tyrannical religion that enforced conformity and submission to the Pope. So here, that was the period that Catholicism has a dominant power on religion. So Pope is also considered as next to the God, and he has direct relation with God, dealings with God. That was the belief of the people in society, but she is unable to accept it, and so that's the reason she is she is adopting a path of Protestants. Protestants are the people who are opposing this shrewd Catholicism. And return for board and tuition. Charlotte taught English and Emily taught music. First publication is, we know that they published their books with pseudonym. In May 1846, Charlotte and Emily and Anna self-financed the publication of a joint collection of poems under their pseudonym Currer, Ellis, and Octon Bell. See, Currer Bell, Ellis Bell, Octon Bell. These are the pseudonyms of these three sisters. The pseudonym veiled the sisters' sex while preserving their initials. So, and hide, they can able to sustain in society from the sexual harassment of the people. So that's with pseudonyms, they are successful in publishing their books. Thus, Charlotte was Currer Bell was the middle name of Houghton's curate Arthur Bell Nicholas, whom Charlotte later married, and Currer was the surname of Frances Mary Richardson Currer, who has funded her school. So here, who has funded and publishing her book, she has married, and we are going to learn few things really about the professor, her first publication. Bronte's first manuscript, the professor did not secure a publisher, although she was heartened by an encouraging response from Smith Elder and Company of Cromhill, who expressed an interest in any long works career Bell might wish to send. Here, a bit early, she was denied. She was asked not to submit any of her work in future also for publication in Smith Elder and Company, who this it is it turned as a shame to her, and Bronte responded by finishing and sending a second manuscript in August 1847, 6 weeks later. Still, she didn't stop her attempt. She has sent another manuscript in August 1847 with some finishing work. 6 weeks later, Jane Eyre was published. Then that's the one after the Professor. Jane Eyre is the next one that was published. It tells the story of a plain governess, Jane, who, after difficulties in her early life, fall in love with her employer, Mr. Rochester. Here it is nothing but her personal life. This is the story of a lady governess called Jane, who is fell in love with her employer. Jane is the employee. Rochester, Mr. Rochester is the employer. Jane fell in love with Mr. Rochester. They marry, but only after Rochester, insane first wife, of whom Jane initially has no knowledge, dies in a dramatic house fire. But unfortunately, Mr. Rochester is already married. Jane doesn't know it, but she dies in a dramatic house fire accident. She lost her life, and that is Jane Eyre. The book's style was innovative in combining neutralism with Gothic melodrama and broke new ground in being written from an intensively evoked first person female perspective. And obviously, we can see there's the novel which is with women perspective. Still, we have further few things about Jane Eyre. Jane Eyre had immediate commercial success and initially received favorable reviews. Really, Jane Eyre become a successful work for Charlotte Bronte. G.H. Lewis wrote that it was an utterance from the depth of struggling, suffering, much enduring spirit, and declared that it is considered of a suspiria de profundis, saves from the depths. So, like here, it became a successful work of Charlotte Bronte. Next, let's we move on to further the next slide. In 1848, Bronte began work on manuscripts. Her second novel, Shelley, it was only partially completed when the Bronte family suffered the deaths of 3 of its members within 8 months. Unfortunately, in 1848, the family has suffered a lot because already 3 members she has lasted in her family within a period of 8 months. In September 1848, Bravel died of chronic bronchitis and marasmus exacerbated by heavy drinking, although Bronte believed that his death was due to tuberculosis. These are the original reasons, but she thought that He has died because of tuberculosis. And here we are going to learn about the poem, Charlotte Bronte's poem, Life. But let me play a video for you. Sorry, due to some of the technical problems, I'm unable to play the video last. At the end of this class, I'll play the video for you. And these are the beginning lines of the poem. Life, believe, is not a dream so dark as sages say. After little morning rain foretells a pleasant day. Sometimes there are clouds of gloom, but these are transient all. If the shower will make the roses bloom, oh, why lament its fall? See, I explain about these lines in the next slide. This Charlotte Bronte of this poem is seeking to pull back the shadows from life. She wants to make clear to the reader that life is not something to be feared. We couldn't fear for life because whether it is good or bad, we need to experience it, or some dark dream that has to treat. Most of the people, like when we sleep, we dream something, but we couldn't escape for anything, which is life is like a dream. The third and fourth lines speak of how something that seems gloomy can foretell something pleasant, such as a little morning rain bringing forth a calm and lovely day. And today may be sad, today may be like a troublesome day, but tomorrow will be giving us a pleasure and happiness to us. It may bring us happiness. We couldn't care, we couldn't fear for anything in life in such a way. She gives two additional examples in this stanza. The speaker brings up gloomy clouds that covered the sky, and though these may seem ominous and forbidding, well clear. See, throughout the world, everywhere we can able to find the sky is cloudy, but she used the word gloomy clouds. The clouds which spread in the sky are gloomy. Gloomy is standing, that is the fear which is in the heart of a person, which veil the thoughts of a person. And though these may seem ominous and forbidding, will be clear, but these gloomy clouds are not permanent in us. These will be cleared. A day will come to clear these clouds. We know that every day is not a rainy day. We have sunny days also. Sunny days are the pleasure days. They are transient and do not last forever. Like these days will move off from our life. We will see wonderful, beautiful days we can see in everyone's life. That means the cloudy, gloomy days are moving out of the life. Her third example is in the final two lines of this stanza, that she asked the question, if the rain means that all the roses will bloom, why should one lament its fall? See, it's a wonderful line. Lament its fall. If it is gloomy, it showers. Why you scare? Because when it is rain, certainly we can see a wonderful sprouts from the earth, and it will blossom. It will blossom. The earth blossom roses. The earth blossoms The plants have rose and will be blossoming. It decorates the entire earth. Then why you lament for? Because at that moment it may give some depression, some distress, and it may be turn as gloomy. But in long run, it is giving us a pleasure. That is her assurance. There is no reason to be sad over these elements of life, as they will all pass or bring them something positive. And she says, she asserted us to maintain a positive attitude. Maybe a negative thing happen, we should think positively, we respond positively. While the speaker is just discussing simple elements of nature, a deeper meaning can be drawn from their relationship to to real life. Like here, this is the poem which is talking about the simple things which we see in nature, but these are not simple things. Those who the symbols which are interlinked with life. Clouds are said as gloomy days, like that. Those are the hurdles. Clouds are the sad days, are the difficulties which are in human life. These are the symbols, just like bad days of one's life, while clear and eventually end. That those clouds will end means the bad days, the sad days will end in everyone's life. These are not permanent. We know that every day is not a full moon day, and every day is not a moonless day. That's every time it changes. The time rules. Few days are with full moon, and few days are without moon. So it is obvious, it is quite common. It is the principle of nature. In every person's life, this is not permanent. All these things are not permanent. These are moving every time. Even though for a few minutes things may seem retrenched with rain pouring down, the rain will stop and one's outlook will be better. Like the clouds will bring us a wonderful rain. That rain will be end of the rain will be the happiest day we can able to see rapidly. The next stanza continuation. Rapidly, merrily, life sunny hours flit by, and gratefully, cheerily enjoy them as they fly. The second stanza, if you observe these four lines here, the second stanza of this piece is written much more lyrically. So when we compare to the above one, it is lyrical, and then the words are almost asking to be sung. One can imagine something dancing, spinning in a circle as they celebrate these phrases rapidly, merrily. Life's sunny hours flit by, gratefully, cheerfully. Enjoy them as they fly. They are flying. The sunny days are coming. The gloomy days are moving off. So you enjoy that. She is asking. Life, the speaker says here, Charlotte Bronte is saying that rapidly, merrily fly by. Those days, the days which are sad days, are flying. The hours will pass without notice until suddenly they are gone. Till they move off from the life, we never identify them. That till the good days touch us, we never experience the Uh, Good day. The speaker is promoting a way of living in which one appreciates and enjoys each hour that passes. But anyhow, here, whether it is good or bad, whether it is right or wrong, we need to enjoy all the days in our life. That is her motive. That is our message. Through these lines to us. What though death at times steps in and calls our best away, what though sorrow seems to win or hope a heavy sway, yet hope again elastic springs, unconquered through unconquered. Though she fell, still buoyant are her golden wings, still strong to bears well, manfully, fearlessly, the day of trial where, for gloriously, victoriously, can courage quell despair. So, if we analyze these lines, the final stanza of Charlotte Bronte says the longest of this. These are the longest lines of uh, the poem Life, and conquers the more daunting part of life, death. The first two complete sentences of the stanza are questions in which the speaker is basically asking, so what? So, what if death at times steps in? So, what if sorrow seems to win? See, uh, death is inevitable in every person's life. We need to welcome it, that we cannot escape death in any person's life. She is saying that one day it comes. We need to welcome it, that we could not scare for the inevitable death. These things are temporary. The speaker is acknowledging that these things exist, but she is not allow them to say her. So, that someday may come in our life. That is inevitable. Death will come on that day. And why you scare by thinking about all those days? That you need to enjoy the present, with the present which is in your hand, which is in front of you. And that she is saying. The fifth line of the stanza is more hopefully. And even if you see that, these lines are hopeful lines, that with hope of future you need to move ahead into the life. She describes hope as having elastic springs. Even though she fell in sorrow, she will become back up again. Hope, her golden wings are still strong and buoyant and will be able to bear as well. This character in the poem can be representing the poet herself. So here we can see Charlotte Bronte in the lines of these poems. She is talking here. She is exhibiting her personality here. Perhaps someone she knows quite personally, and has depending on for support in the past, a mother or sister figure. Like, she is appearing as a mother, she is appearing as a sister who supports her family members. In these lines that we can able to find her as a person who knows. Charlotte Bronte is like appearing here in such a way. The last four lines of the poem speaks of strength, in which the speaker is promoting living fearlessly and manfully. But here, the last lines of the poem are promoting uh, live a life of free from fear. Most of the people are trying to lead a life throughout life. a fear of life, that we need to move out of the life. If we just move out of fear, we will be happy. Live a manful life, not as a fearful life, not as a sorrowful life, not as a sad person who lost a lot of things in life. That what you have not brought by you, what you have not created by you originally. So here, try to live lead a life fearlessly, because that fear is the biggest enemy in everybody's life. If we fear for anything, that will kill us every day, that will kill us every moment, because often I says fear is the biggest enemy to anyone in his life. Fear is the biggest first enemy, first hurdle to anybody in his life. So, better you need to come out of this fear, and we need to conquer anything if we just come out of this fear only. Otherwise, life is miserable every time. So, and try to run off the fear from your life. You will be happy then only. And she concludes with once day of trial comes, be victorious and courage. See, if really we are fearless, we will be getting the victorious days. That what we gain is courageously will be a victorious one, will be taking us into the us into a real life. No despair can quell the victory one feels when holding on to hope. Nothing can touch it, not even death. Really, if we feel anything, that will touch us. If we never feel, that won't touch us. If we are panic, we everything is touching us as a cloud, as a lion, or as a ghost. It touches us. It tries to scare us. Better to come out of it. You try to explore it courageously. Then you can able to conquer it, and you will be the victorious person on it. Here I'm going to show you a video. You just watch the video.
Pearls of Wisdom, Life by Charlotte Bronte. Life, believe, is not a dream so dark as sages say. Oft a little morning rain foretells a pleasant day. Sometimes there are clouds of gloom, but these are transient all. If the shower will make the roses bloom, oh why lament its fall? Rapidly, merrily, life's sunny hours flit by. Gratefully, cheerily, enjoy them as they fly. What though death at times steps in and calls our best away? What though sorrow seems to win over hope a heavy sway? Yet hope again elastic springs, unconquered though she fell. Still buoyant are her golden wings, still strong to bear us well. Manfully, fearlessly, the day of trial bear, for gloriously, victoriously, can courage quell despair.
That's so wonderful lines. Let me play this YouTube video again.
Pearls of Wisdom. The Smile by William Blake. There's a smile of love, and there's a smile of deceit, and there's a smile of smiles in which these two smiles meet.
So that's the beauty of this poem. And thank you for watching my video lecture. Let's we met in the next video. But anyhow, here is also one of the YouTube video, and you will be finding more about it. It may not be useful to degree student, that it is useful for PG and more than PG students who wanted to know more in detail about the poem will be explained in the second video about the metric schemes, rhyming scheme of the poem, and analysis of the poem is given here. So let's just conclude here this wonderful poem by Charlotte Bronte. Thank you. Bye bye.